Alright, so I'm here with my friend Adam, and he's asked me, hey Niko, how do you make a good gunfight? What constitutes an exciting action scene? So, I'm here today to share a couple tips. A gun is like a sword with an infinitely long blade, and if that blade passes across somebody's body, you can shoot them, aka they get cut. That's why people take cover, they're moving around. So that's why it's really important to show the audience where people are in relation to each other. You can do that with wide shots, you can do that with over-the-shoulder shots, where you're looking down somebody's shoulders to aim at somebody in the distance. Just all the things you need to show that there's two people or three people or whatever, and a piece of cover in between them that's keeping them from getting shot. It's the dynamics of moving around that cover, moving through the scene, trying to get a clear line of sight into somebody that'll create a compelling gunfight. Generally speaking, if you just have one person fighting another person, it's not going to be too terribly exciting unless the environment is shifting in a dynamic way, because otherwise they're just going to be ducked down, not wanting to get shot. They're going to pop up, they're going to shoot a couple times, maybe they'll miss, maybe they'll hit them. That's about all that happens when you have one versus one. So you have to come up with creative ways to keep the fight flowing. So my friend Benji here is basically going to be helping me out, demonstrate some of these concepts that we're going to be talking about. Also, here's another thing you should know. So generally in a gunfight, you're pointed at each other, just like in a conversation. So if you guys know the rule of 180, or the 180 degree rule, basically the camera stays on, if this is the line between me and Benji, the camera should stay on one side of the line. What that means is I'll always be pointing right now frame right to frame left. Benji will always be pointing frame left to frame right. If we do a shot where it's like, say, close with me like this, like aiming frame right to frame left, and the next shot when we show Benji pointing frame left to frame right. It's gonna look really weird if we have a shot of Benji like this, and then we have a shot of me also like this. It's gonna imply that we're both shooting in the same direction. So that's an important way to convey that we're shooting at each other, even if you don't actually see what we're shooting at. The first thing you can do to establish the space is a wide shot. And we can see me, and we can see Benji, and we can see what's in between us. And you can tell, I got the car here blocking me, and he's got the truck here blocking him. And so now we start working with the environment. How would I get around Benji? How could I shoot him? You know, possibly I could pull something cool. I duck down, he can't see me, and I see him through the window, and bam, 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 I shoot him through the glass. You know, now that we've established a space between us, we can do that kind of stuff. We could punch in, we could show me running, and get a cool shot of me running between the cars. We could then get maybe a point of view shot looking through the glass at Benji. So that's one way you built the geometry to show the scene. So now we've established the scene, we can go in for cut-ins. These are close-ups of, say, somebody shooting, somebody going, oh crap, I'm getting shot at, somebody running, all these kind of things. You just need to make sure that every once in a while, you go back to establish the space. So let's go over to Benji real quick. Now we can get a shot of Benji going, oh crap, and ducking down, and then running out this way around the truck. Perfect. And because we've established the space, we know that I'm on that side, we know the truck's between me and Benji, so it makes sense for us to just punch in and show Benji running and get his reaction. Now that he's moved to a new spot, we'll want to establish the space again. So a good way to do this, for example, in a gunfight, is an over-the-shoulder shot. So basically when you're doing a gunfight, it comes down to a couple things. One, staying on the right side of the 180 so that people are always kind of pointing at each other in relationship to their composition in the frame. Two, making sure people understand the geometry of the space, understanding that where the cover is and how people are not able to just simply shoot each other. And three, after establishing the geometry, take the opportunities to go in and show some punch-ins, show some reactions. And then four, you need to actually put movement into it, because a gunfight, if they're just standing still, is boring. You need people flanking each other, trying to outsmart each other, trying to get creative. Are you going to shoot through the glass of the car? Are you going to drop down into the ground and shoot under the cars at their legs? It's about moving and approaching the space in a creative manner to really style the gunfight in a cool way.
Action.